Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you for joining and thank you for all the likes, comments, and shares. It means so much to me. I love the community that we're building together. To show my appreciation, I'm giving away another free personalized tarot reading. All you have to do to qualify is subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, like this video, and type Pink Moon in the comments. I'll be announcing the winner to this drawing on April 23rd during the next full moon. All right, let's get started. Today we are getting a message from your ancestors. To do that, I'm going to use this deck. It is a tarot deck. Whoop, one already came out. And we will see what your ancestors want you to know at this time. I do invite you to connect with your guides, your ancestors at this time, to ask for their assistance in interpreting the images you see, the sounds that you hear, and the message that I share. I'm going to take that one and this one. All right, let's see what we have. So for pile number one, we have the Five of Pentacles. And you know, it kind of spun around. So it's hard to tell if it came out in reverse or upright. And the Ace of Wands for pile number two. For pile number three, we have the World. Oh. All right, we have the World. So whichever card you're most drawn to. Oh, let me introduce the crystals in case that helps you make your choice. So for pile number one, we have labradorite. And for pile number two, we have bumblebee jasper. And for pile number three, we have, oh, it's not onyx, it's, I just had it. Why does it keep slipping my mind? Obsidian. Yes, obsidian. All right, so whichever crystal and or card you're most drawn to is probably the reading meant for you. Of course, you're always invited to listen to two or even all three of the messages, as they may shed additional light on your situation or speak to different areas of your life. You'll find a link to these readings in the description box below. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Five of Pentacles, which spun around, so I feel like that's a good sign, because this is a card of scarcity, lack. It's about being left out in the cold, or feeling left out, not feeling like you have enough of something. So it's pentacles, so many times people associate that with material possessions or wealth, finances, which it very well could be, but it could also be not feeling valued. And so, you know, with it in reverse, it would mean that those things are going to be turning around. With the labradorite, it's a stone of transformation. So I feel that, you know, it's spun. So I feel like your ancestors, which they were the first ones to, you know, take something out of the deck, their message is that this is going to turn around. This lack will turn around. Labradorite is useful through change. It gives you perseverance. It helps to balance and protect your aura. It's grounding, and it strengthens your intuition, promotes psychic abilities, raises your consciousness. Very positive, powerful stone. All right, let's get some cards. I do put the names of all the cards that I use in the description box below. And let's find out what your ancestors want to tell you right now about the situation. How you can spin things around. That's not even something I would normally say. Wow, this came out yesterday and it just flew out of the deck just like this one did. The Reconciler. Reconciling with something. So initially when I saw this card, I thought she was collecting moonlight, but what she's doing is releasing something. So letting go of some past hurt, whether you were the recipient of that hurt or the giver of that hurt. So it could come, it could be anger or guilt or sadness attached to some past experience, and your ancestors want you to reconcile that, to forgive yourself or forgive the other person, not necessarily for their sake, but for yours, so that that emotion isn't taking up space that you could be earning. It's like having somebody stay in your rental property for free is what these negative emotions are like and what they're showing me. And so by kicking them out, then what you're doing is you're creating space for income or to be valued. So let's go with the same example. Somebody who's getting something for free doesn't appreciate it as much as somebody who pays for something. And that's really what they're showing me. All right, already I feel such a strong communication from your ancestors. It's amazing. All right, the Shaman. Wow. Yeah, so I see now why this card spun around, because the Shaman is about taking wounds and healing them and then using that vibration as medicine that you carry with you. That not only do you heal yourself, the shaman doesn't heal themselves only, but they use that wisdom, experience, that vibration and medicine to help others on their journey. So this is a way for you to experience value, perhaps. Let's draw some more cards. There's one. Let's see what this is. The Badger and Ginkgo. Wow. Healing wounds. Absolutely. What did I tell you? Amazing. And the Badger, the way that they heal wounds, what comes to mind is that whole thing that went through the video of the Badger, Badgers don't give a damn. It's that kind of energy. So it's like enough is enough. Maybe if somebody has been overstaying their welcome, and using your energy in any way, shape, or form. I see you saying enough is enough, and you healing. All right, let's get another one of these. Wow, I love your ancestors. They are pretty cool. They're very direct and to the point. I feel like maybe they like these cards. I'm gonna get another one of these. Oh, yeah, several came out. Let's start with the top one, and we'll see if we have space for all of these. So, the Wind Rider. I'm still learning the meanings of this oracle deck. And the Scholar. The Hermit. And this Hermit keeps coming out. It's come out the past 3 readings every time I've used this deck. So very interesting. I think a lot of people are taking time for themselves to reflect, perhaps study something. Maybe you're going to be learning something. I'll have to consult the guidebook to get more information. But let's draw some tarot cards and take a look at the whole picture of what is going on. And what do your ancestors want you to know at this time? There's one more card. I'm going to see if I have space for it that fell out of that last deck. All right, let's just look at these 3 and see what we have. All right, we have the Knight of Wands. And the 6 of Pentacles, which was in reverse. So yeah, I think it's, again, I'm getting this idea of there not being an even exchange, you giving more than you're receiving. And that's where this lack energy is coming around. That's why it came out spinning. It's time to balance that. And the 5 of Wands, which is conflict and fighting, also came out in reverse. And let's see if I may have to adjust my camera so we can see all of these cards. The other card that came out was the Oath. So let me rearrange the cards so we can see them better, and I'll be right back. All right, I think we have space to draw a couple more cards. Normally I draw 4 or 5, even 6 tarot cards. All right, here we go. Here's 2 more. Let's see what we have. The Lovers and 10 of Cups. Love this. All right. Amazing. Actually, I'm going to do, I'll go with my first instinct. There we go. All right, so there's the pictures on the cards. There's what we interpret when we look at these images, the story that we see that it tells. There are the traditional meanings or the guidebook meanings, and then there's also what we receive from our guides, from our ancestors, as to the meaning of the message. And I like to share some of all of that with you because remember, these are general readings. We have many people that are listening to one reading, so there could be some detail that's specific for each person in the different interpretations. So initially, what I'm receiving is that, first of all, this experience of lack or scarcity, not feeling valued, however it's presenting itself in your life, is about to be lifted out of your life. With the Knight of Wands, it represents energy, passion, and adventure. And it could be a person, a very charismatic, energetic, passionate person that is driven and moving forward towards a goal. So the question is whether or not that's you or somebody else in your life. Your ancestors are encouraging you to embrace your inner fire and pursue your goals with enthusiasm and determination. This card suggests that you may be on the verge of embarking on a new journey or pursuing a creative endeavor. So trust in your abilities and be bold in your pursuit of your passions. And I love that these cards can have multiple meanings, because this could be talking about somebody else, but it could also be talking about you. So what I'm received initially when I pull out the Knight of Wands is that there's somebody else in your life who presents themselves as this very charming, charismatic person. But perhaps this person is not giving you, from your perspective, the value that you feel you need and deserve. Because we have the Six of Pentacles here in reverse. Six of Pentacles is this person has their door painted red to welcome visitors. This is just, you see this gentleman doesn't have any shoes. He's all bent over. And she's giving him a loaf of bread out of the kindness of her heart, which is it's amazing. When the card's in reversed, it means that there's not a balance in energy exchange. Whether this is financial or emotional, there's an imbalance. So this matches up with this Five of Pentacles kind of lack, not feeling valued, being left out in the cold. type of energy. The Five of Wands, as I mentioned, is about conflict, but it's reversed, so it indicates a resolution. We see here these goats kind of playing King of the Hill and trying to, see who's the top goat, right? And so this is struggles and petty disagreements over power. But with it reversed, it means that these conflicts or tensions may be resolved soon. And you're being encouraged to try to work towards common goals. Try to find paths to peace and understanding. And that these paths to peace are within reach. The shaman is, as I said, somebody who heals themselves and then is able to heal. What I see when I see this card, what I receive is that this is a person with this drum that's able to break up patterns. So thought patterns, emotional patterns, energetic patterns, patterns of behavior. They're able to disrupt it and change the course of direction. So if you're in a relationship that you've been in a while, whether it's your core family, a chosen family, a partner, even a work environment, right? There are patterns that get repeated, and you may notice those, and there is a way for you to disrupt those patterns. There is a message in the guidebook about showing your vulnerability and looking at yourself through a lens that allows you to see what needs to be addressed. So perhaps these patterns that you would break would be patterns within your own thinking, beliefs, energy. And the reconciler I talked about a little bit. It does say in the book that it's about accepting what can't be changed. So with that under the Knight of Wands, part of what I receive is that there is this person who maybe seems charismatic, and maybe everybody loves this person. They're always the hit of the party. But if you're in an intimate relationship or a close relationship with them, you're not getting all of that light that they seem to shine on everybody else when they're out in public, which is what's causing this scarcity. The Lovers card, it looks like a happy couple in a boat. They have their dog, beautiful sunset, looks very romantic. The Lovers card, though, the meaning of it is about a choice. And so again, we have these multiple meanings, because if this is a romantic partner and this is how you want things to be, then that's the story that it's telling. But if we look at the fact that this card is actually about making a choice, then what is the choice to make in this situation? And perhaps it's a choice that you've already been thinking about. Then we have the Badger and the Ginkgo healing wounds. And know that there's always more than one path to take. And there's not one answer for everyone. So healing wounds, we talked about a little bit. It's also about you being accountable to heal wounds that you may have inflicted. So in addition to being able to not accept anymore Disrespect comes to mind. That's not a term I would usually use. But if you're not being appreciated and valued and you're through with it, that would be one choice, right? But the healing wounds card also talks about you being accountable for anything that you have said or done that may have hurt others and taking the action to repair that. My intuition and what I receive is that this may be a pattern. So this person may, again, may diminish how you feel about yourself because they're very charismatic with others, but not shining that light on you. And maybe one of the patterns to break up is if you do bring this up to them, they turn it around on you, and then you end up apologizing for something you didn't even do. So again, this is something more that I'm channeling, that I'm receiving. Take what resonates, leave the rest for others. But we do see the Wind Rider and then the Hermit next. The Wind Rider is a free spirit. This is somebody who goes with the wind, and the wind changes directions easily and all the time. This is somebody who doesn't feel like they need to live up to anybody else's standards. They know who they are, and that's who they are going to be. The Hermit card is about self-reliance. This is an oracle. This card is from an oracle deck, not a tarot deck. So the meaning is a little bit different. And it is about being self-reliant, which makes me think, again, that this whole message could be about a relationship that is draining you, right? The Six of Pentacles upside down. You're not getting what you receive. Or sorry, you're not you're not getting what you give. That's what I meant to say. So being self-reliant, self-assured, confident, knowing who you are, whether you stay in this relationship or stay in contact with this person, simply by changing your behavior patterns, you can change the dynamics of the situation. So up to you whether or not you stay with this person. There's no one right answer that I can give to all the viewers. You know what is the right thing to do. And then we have this oath with a cut braid. So again, I do see some people cutting off the relationship, but I see other people cutting off a behavior. And it's a way of setting boundaries too. So perhaps what you were giving was time and emotion to this person, and they're not giving it back. So maybe what you're doing is you're now limiting how much time and emotion, resources, for some of you it could be financial resources, that you're giving to this person. And I'm even hearing situation. So this could be maybe a group or a hobby, a club, something that you belong to, a practice, something that you've been putting time and energy and money into that you don't feel like is paying off. And so I see some of you cutting something. In any case, whether you cut a person off or you cut off a behavior pattern that allows things to drain your energy, what I see in the end is you becoming very self-reliant, you having more time and more energy, more resources to have the lifestyle that you want to have, because here we have the 10 of Cups. And what's interesting about this depiction of the 10 of Cups is what we see first and foremost in this image is this figure here getting the apple herself. So I see you taking care of yourself, not relying on others to take care of you, so that you don't have a power dynamic. If you give all your energy and time to someone in exchange for them supporting you financially, for example, this is just an example, then they have you trapped. And so one way to free yourself is to become self-reliant. And of course, that doesn't pertain to everyone. That's just an example, but you could easily replace those nouns with other nouns. So anything that you feel like you're giving something up to get something, but it doesn't feel like an equal exchange, it's best for you to become self-reliant in those areas, so that you're not giving away your power to somebody else to make you feel valued or worthy or happy or fill in the blank. You're able to provide that for yourself. Usually the 10 of Cups shows a man and a woman sitting next to each other with a kid or two, and that's like the center of the image. But in this image, we see a person grabbing the apple, and they're all grabbing apples. So it's a balance. Everybody is taking care of themselves. And that's really the best kind of relationship to have, where everybody's contributing, everybody's self-reliant and taking care of themselves, instead of depending on each other too heavily for different things. And then we have the Scholar, which is about being practical and logical in a situation. And so how can you apply logic to your situation and use it to resolve things in a way that is fair to everyone, in a way that's going to serve for the highest good for everyone involved. And also I'm receiving that this is how you will present your point of view to the other person or people. The situation is through a calm demeanor and through logic of how this is beneficial for everyone. Yeah. So very powerful. I love your ancestors. Normally, I feel like when I've done messages from ancestors, it's mostly talking about how amazing you are. And I get that they do think that you're amazing and lovely, but this seemed like an urgent message for you to see your own worth and not to give your power away to others so that they validate you or build you or recognize you. And not that those things aren't good, but there's something about being self-sufficient and being able to reach the apple yourself, right? Straight off the tree, fresh, rather than having to get an apple out of the basket that somebody else picked. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So happy for you, pile number one. Love, love, love your ancestors. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Ace of Wands. And we see a salamander here, sometimes called a fire salamander, because people would see them coming out of fires. They like to make their homes in logs, and sometimes people would start a fire and see these salamanders coming out of the fire. So they are definitely connected to fire, as are wands, fire energy, passion, action, and spirituality. So we'll see how that plays in. You also chose the bumblebee jasper, which is a very positive, optimistic type of energy. It's a crystal that promotes strength, courage, confidence. It helps to ease the stresses of change and helps to step into the unknown. So we'll see how these energies fit into the rest of your message. What message does pile number 2's ancestors have for them right now? That's too many. We'll keep going. What message does pile number 2's ancestors have for them right now? All right, there we go. There's a couple. Let's see. We have the Oracle. So we see here a Melissa from ancient Greece with bees that would ingest honey that had been, the bees had taken nectar or pollen from a plant that has hallucinogenic properties, and they would make prophecies. Very interesting. Very magical already with this salamander, ace of wands, and now the oracle. And the moon. Yeah, very mystical energies so far. All right, let's draw some more cards and find out what it is that your ancestors want you to know. All right, we have the cat in the lavender. You know, immediately when I see this, I see a black cat like a familiar. So I'm thinking you're a very witchy, magical person. And if you aren't, then your ancestors, or at least one of them. And maybe this is something that you already know and your ancestors are validating that for you. Or maybe it's something you haven't really delved into yet and your ancestors want you to start doing that. All right, we have the coyote and datura, which datura is another plant that can facilitate journeying, and it has hallucinogenic properties. Really interesting. All right, let's draw some tarot and see what we get. This pile number 2's ancestors want them to know at this time. I do put the names of all the cards that I use in the description box below, if I didn't already say that. one more. Fill this one. All right, so we have Two of Cups, Harmony, a combination of energies, a blending, a synergy, and the Star. Really nice. The Chariot. Let's see, what do we have room for one more up here? The Queen of Wands. Look at the cardinal at the tip of her staff. She has her cat or familiar there. Her tomatoes, butterflies, sunflowers. Beautiful. Love that card. All right, so I just want to see what's at the bottom of this deck. And we have the Ace of Wands, which you already had the Ace of Wands. So definitely starting something new. And maybe it is something related to magical practices, esoteric mysteries. We have the cat here and the cat here and a cat here. So yeah, I think some of you even have a cat or some kind of familiar. It's so interesting that we start with the Ace of Wands and then the last card we drew was the Ace of Wands. They are from two different decks, and so the meanings are slightly different because the first Ace of Wands came from the afterthought, after tarot. So it's supposed to be moments after the traditional card. And I feel that the meaning, if you look in the guidebook, the meaning for this card is a little more cynical. So it's like you've been through the fire, right? But you came out okay. Or, you know, don't play with fire or you'll get burned. It just has these little sayings. And to me, it seems like, you know, wands are the beginning of the suit. So it's the beginning of something. So it's like you're beginning something, but there's this cynicism keeps coming up. It could be something else, but it's not completely balanced. You know, anytime we start something new, we don't have all the answers. That's part of the fun of it, is the discoveries that we make along the way. And so sometimes when we start something new, it could be maybe sometimes we have this idea of how easy it's going to be, and then it ends up being harder. Or sometimes we want to start something, but we don't because we don't think that we can, you know, we have everything we need to do it. So it's kind of, I'm getting that kind of vibe from it. And the Two of Cups, like I said, it could very well mean a romantic relationship if that resonates with you. But I feel like for many of you, it's talking about the union of something, the marriage of two things. And so this could be part of this journey that you started with the Ace of Wands, or that you're going to start soon. I feel for many of you, it's something that you've already begun to do or tried to do, something you're trying to accomplish. And perhaps there is a way to marry two things so that you can strengthen it, strengthen its potency is what's coming to mind. There are certain elements and flowers, for example, plant medicines that when combined, they create something new that's more powerful. They amplify each other's power. So, what's coming to mind is ayahuasca. It's not one plant, but it's a combination of plants. And it's that combination of plants that allows one to go on this journey. So there's something that you're doing that maybe you can combine to strengthen it and to make this project, this endeavor, this journey easier. And I'm also getting there are little tasks that you can do. Well, I'll get to that in a minute because it's more the Queen of Wands, but there's that. And what's interesting, I just realized this. We have the oracle with the bees, the honeybees, and you have the bumblebee jasper. So there's definitely a message there with that. And when we think about bees, what do? This is coming under the Two of Cups. They combine their own energy with the energy of flowers and sunshine to create honey. So the idea of combining elements, and in the case of honey, it's 3 different elements. You have the bees' work, the bees' enzymes and energy, plus the flowers' nectar and the sun's energy, all synergized together to create this beautiful, sweet honey. The star is all about hope. And we see here an adult and a child looking up at the stars, perhaps wishing on stars. It's knowing that the future will bring you what you want. It did come out in reverse. So again, I have this idea that this journey started and maybe you got discouraged. Though the book that accompanies this particular set of tarot does not give a meaning for the card in reverse. And because of their landscape orientation, maybe that was, intentional, and they didn't mean for them to have a reversed meaning. The Chariot card is about overcoming obstacles. And it was in reverse as well. So when it's in reverse, it can indicate a lack of direction or feeling unfocused or out of control, stuck. But when it's upright, it speaks about being able to overcome obstacles. Not that there aren't any obstacles, but that you have the strength, the power, the resilience, the fortitude to be able to overcome obstacles. And so your ancestors want you to know that whatever this endeavor is, that you can overcome any obstacles that you need to achieve it. We do have here the moon, which again, it's magical, it's mysterious, it's connected to the subconscious mind. So perhaps the Star in reverse, if you do feel hopeless, if you do feel like, uh-oh, what did I get myself into? I can't do this. Who am I kidding? I bit off more than I chew. Then the Moon card is saying that is an illusion. That's not reality. That's your subconscious mind, your shadow playing tricks on you, your ego. And your ancestors want you to know that this, whatever this is, was put into your heart for a reason, because it's something that you absolutely can achieve, and there are obstacles that you can overcome to get there. You're very capable of that. The Queen of Wands is here. We see a queen on her knees gardening. So as a queen, she could definitely get somebody else to garden, but she chooses to do it because she loves it, and she is capable herself of doing things. She is independent, just like the Cat card. And she enjoys being out there with the sun on her face, with her cat next to her, doing this hands-on, tangible, practical work. So there's this idea of enjoying each step on this journey. Enjoying the practical aspects of it. So what I was starting to say about the Two of Cups was, let's say there's some aspect of this project, endeavor, work that you're not crazy about. Let's say you have to drive all over town or from one town to another. Perhaps you can listen to some really great music, or catch up on phone calls, or listen to podcasts, or use that time to meditate and talk to your ancestors yourself. There's ways that you can marry two things together, combine two things together, and enjoy each part of that day. There's something magical that's going to happen if you can try to enjoy each aspect of this journey, this endeavor. The cat in lavender, it says independence. Cats are very independent, and lavender is a very peaceful, calming energy. And you know, the cat in lavender card, when I look at it, I notice that it has a number 1, which is the same number as the Magician. And remember, I told you I'm getting this really kind of witchy energy. The Magician is somebody that is resourceful and capable and independent and creates and manifests their own life. And so that's what your ancestors want you to know, that you are capable of doing. You're capable of being independent and having a magical life. I keep getting that magical, happy, mystical. Yeah, there's something magical, very magical about it, is what they're saying. And the Coyote and Datura Deceit says, trust your own instincts. So there's definitely, with wands, you know, like I said, their action, their passion, but they're also spirituality. And so they're woven into this, definitely is this spiritual evolution, the spiritual awakening. And you know, the Queen of Wands is another wands, and Again, we see the magical in the mundane, right? Growing your own food, growing your own herbs, using those herbs to create magic. And then we have the last card that we drew out, the Ace of Wands from this deck. I want to read to you what the Creator says. This orange tabby kitten perches high upon the fence post, surveying the scene that ignites his imagination. Inspired by the free-spirited butterfly that keeps him company, the courageous kitten dreams of the days to come when he too will set off on his own adventures. He is eager to explore the world around him and confident that he will discover great possibilities for himself. The waving tiger lilies below encourage the little cat to think big. The butterfly weed represents the beginning of life for the monarch butterfly, who just emerged from the cocoon and launched himself to new heights. In a reading, when you draw the Ace of Wands card, let yourself take in all the energy and excitement it depicts. Know that the seeds of enthusiasm have been planted and you can confidently reap the rewards, especially in the areas of creativity. Like the kitten, you have inside you unlimited potential. You have only to release your power through bold acts of self-expression. Channel your confidence, direct your enthusiasm, and seize opportunities to expand your life experiences. Believe in yourself, and you will bloom brightly. I love that. So I don't know what you're doing, what you're working on, but it is absolutely magical. That's definitely what your ancestors think, and they 100% believe in your capabilities to overcome any obstacles and not only to achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve, but to enjoy each aspect of it every step of the way. Amazing. You know, I want to also read to you, they're telling me to read to you the Star card from this guidebook. So we always, you know, if you've done tarot enough, you have kind of a general understanding of the meaning of each card, but I love the nuances that each creator comes up with. The Star card, okay, on this serene summer evening, a woman kneels next to her young son, showing him the sublime spectacle of the star-filled evening sky. She takes delight in sharing her knowledge of the constellations and heavenly bodies, pointing out familiar configurations and relaying the magic and the mythos to her child. But mostly she shares her sheer awe as she takes in the infinite wonders of the universe. She is hoping to ignite a spark of curiosity and inspiration in his young heart. For young and old alike, the starry sky is a source of hope and harmony that lifts us up and out of our ordinary lives and makes us believe we are part of something magnificent and extraordinary. The Star card is a source of hope, inspiration, and clarity. It prompts you to think expansively beyond your everyday issues, helping them to seem so insignificant. When we view ourselves as part of the tapestry of the sparkling cosmos, the Star card offers a sense of peace and tranquility. You begin to believe that the stars really are in alignment. Whatever has happened up to today, on this night, in this moment, everything is perfect just as it is. The illuminated sky is the light at the end of the tunnel. It provides the magic stardust that empowers you to believe you will succeed in whatever you dare to attempt tomorrow. There you go. That is what your ancestors wanted you to know, pile number 2. Be hopeful, be optimistic, be magical. There's something you can combine that's going to make things easier. and more enjoyable. And I see you being very independent and self-reliant and very magical. What a magical reading. I love it. I love the energy of your reading, pile number 2. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the World card, which is about completion, but it's also the beginning of something new, and it's very positive completion. It's success, accomplishment, kind of like winning a race and maybe starting to train for the next one now. It's an invitation with this cup up here to pursue something new, and we see all of the elements present in this card: the cup, the sword, the pentacle, and the wand. So it is everything. All right, you also chose black obsidian, which is a stone that helps encourage personal growth. It helps with detoxification. It increases clarity and the ability to release traumas, including ancient traumas, and clear out spiritual blockages. It draws out stress. It helps to release emotional and physical blockages as well. So we will see how those two, that's an interesting combination. We'll see how those two energies play into the rest of your reading, about what your ancestors want you to know at this time. I do put the names of all the decks that I use in the description box below, if that is something that you're interested in. Oh, and there's the 2 cards that we want. All right, we have Sprout. And Thaw. And you know, logically, I'm thinking Thaw may come before Sprout, but we'll see if I feel like I want to change them later. All right, let's get a couple more oracle cards. What does, you know, here's 2 right here. All right, we have the Turtle and Coriander, Satisfaction. And you know, coriander is also called cilantro, which is a very detoxifying plant. So interesting that we have the black obsidian, which is detoxifying, and we have coriander. Perhaps you are changing your diet or clearing out your house. You also have the owl and hop, wisdom. All right, let's get some tarot cards and see what else your ancestors want you to know at this time. I think this may be too many. Let's see. Let's see, we have the King of Swords. And the Lovers. The Star. And those two cards came out, I believe, in pile number 2. We have the Tower, Five of Cups, and the Hermit. The Tower card represents upheaval, change, and transformation. Your ancestors want you to understand that the unexpected shifts and challenges you have experienced suggest that old structures, beliefs are being dismantled to make way for new growth and evolution. So they're encouraging you to embrace change as an opportunity for growth and renewal, and trust in your ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity, which with the King of Swords, I see you being able to do. I'm not sure if this is something that happened recently or is happening right now. But in any case, it's an opportunity to adjust things for the better. And it's interesting that you have the Tower and then you have the Sprout card. I want to read to you what the guidebook for this card says. The Sprout card invites us to think about death in a wider context, putting aside for a moment the negative connotations that we inevitably attach to it, especially when thinking about it with the heavy heart of someone who went through loss and grief. The card offers a more accepting view of death as that which feeds the cycle of life and allows it to continue as regenerative transformation, as a force that breaks apart to build again. Even our mundane everyday endings can be seen as opportunities for new things to sprout and take root, and effective ways to avoid stagnation and keep things in motion. So very similar to the Tower card. That's really interesting. Then you have the Five of Cups, which is about loss and regret. We see here this figure looking at these spilled cans of milk. You know, she may have spent a couple of hours or all day filling up all of these cans of milk, but she still has 2 cans standing. And the milk is feeding the kittens, and actually she has 3 cans still standing, only 2 spilled. So more than half is still standing. And more importantly, she still has the cow. So the card urges you to acknowledge your emotions, right? It's okay to feel regret, remorse, loss, grief, all of those emotions. It's okay to feel them, but also remember to focus on the blessing and opportunities that you still have. So let go of the past and embrace the potential for new beginnings and emotional healing. And with the Hermit, I see you taking the time to do that. The Hermit card represents introspection, solitude, and inner guidance. So your ancestors are encouraging you to take time for introspection and reflection as you navigate this transition, whatever this is. So that could be just taking time to reflect, maybe limiting external distractions, seeking inner guidance and wisdom. Trust in your inner light to illuminate your path and guide you towards greater clarity. See here, he's carrying a lamp and he's finding his own path. So remember, we talked about there are beliefs being broken down. There's something being broken down, but it's giving you the opportunity to create your own path. What I feel and see is that whatever this situation is, it's helping you to purge and detoxify, to get rid of what no longer serves you. It's giving you an opportunity to see that, I mean, maybe she's lactose intolerant. She doesn't need to be drinking all of that milk. That kind of thing where you lost something, but because of this setback or this loss, whatever it is, it's giving you an opportunity to see that maybe you didn't need that thing or that situation, that person, whatever in your life. And it's also giving you wisdom. It's giving you knowledge as a result of being able to examine this and reflect on what's happened, how it's happened. Maybe she comes up with some kind of system over here where she can put the cans in so they don't get knocked over so easily on unstable ground. So it's adjusting things, but it could be adjusting beliefs, behaviors, and habits, procedures, methods, so that because this thing happened, you're going to end up becoming more effective, more efficient. And again, you're gaining this experience and wisdom. The King of Swords is, of course, about intellect, wisdom, and authority. So again, we have this idea of wisdom. We have it here with the owl and hop, which I'll get to in a minute. But we also have it here with the King of Swords. So your ancestors see that this is what you're becoming. You're becoming the King of Swords, somebody who embodies the qualities of the King of Swords, somebody who possesses clarity of thought, strong communication skills, and the ability to make rational decisions. Trust in your intellect, and you're becoming more assertive as you navigate these challenges ahead. So whatever this is that happened, it's giving you this clarity, it's giving you this wisdom, it's strengthened your resolve and your ability to communicate effectively what it is that you want and need. The Lovers card represents choices, partnerships, and alignment. It's about harmony within yourself, harmony within relationships. It's a union of complementary forces. It's going to create a sense of unity and balance. So embrace the power of love and connection and meaningful partnerships. Align your core values, your desires with what you're doing, with who you spend time with. And of course, there's the idea of combining things to create something new. Combining different energies, combining complementary forces. So what comes to mind, because I see them in a boat, is if you want to row in the boat and not work as hard and you're in a river, then you would go with the current. So you're combining the force of your strength and the oars with the current of the river, which will help you to go faster. So it's like that, combining energies. If they had sails, they could use the wind to help them travel. So again, whatever this is, it's giving you ideas, it's giving you clarity of thought to be able to break down what wasn't working anymore, what's not serving you or your project, your endeavor, and allowing you to reflect and come up with new ways of doing things that are going to be more economical, more efficient, easier for you in the long run, and maybe even more enjoyable. We have here the star, which is a symbol of hope, inspiration, guidance, and your ancestors wouldn't tell you to be hopeful if there wasn't something to be hopeful for. So where your ancestors, guides, and guardian angels exist, there is no linear time as we perceive it. They can see the whole picture of everything that has happened and everything that is going to happen. And so they want to give you hope as to whatever it is that you're working on, you'll complete it despite any obstacles you may face. It's also a period, this card also signifies a period of healing and renewal, where you're guided by a sense of purpose and inner wisdom. Trust in the universe to guide you towards greater fulfillment and illuminate your path with hope and inspiration. So again, we have this idea of illumination, and in some decks, the lantern that the hermit holds looks like a star inside. And it's interesting too that in these two cards we see two people and two people, that idea of partnerships. Yeah, I want to read to you also about this card, Thaw, from the guidebook, which says, the emerging of the first snowdrops quietly announces that under the soft layer of snow, the earth is getting ready to blossom, eager to feel the warmth of spring once again. Unseen to the eye, life is stirring in the depths of the soil, within insects and the last year's seeds alike. The Thaw card represents joyful excitement, the yearning and anticipation for new things to come, and the confident awareness of underlying potential. I love that. So another card of transformation. So you have a lot going on. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards. So this is a huge transformation and a huge level up. And what they're telling me is, if you haven't experienced this yet, or even if you have, when you experience setbacks or challenges, ask yourself, ask the universe, say to yourself, let's see what good will come out of this. So again, this happened, and maybe this is an opportunity to meet somebody who has extra milk. We don't know what this milk is for, but let's give it a narrative. Let's say this milk is to make some recipes that she sells. And now that she doesn't have the milk that she needs, she meets somebody who has extra milk, and they trade something, and they create a new partnership. And so by adopting the belief, the philosophy that the universe is working for you, the universe is conspiring to bring you what you want, then it's going to set your mind to look for those things. As opposed to asking questions like, what else can go wrong? Because if you ask those questions, then more things will go wrong. And so your ancestors want you to know that through this difficulty, you're going to find happiness. So keep that in mind. Keep asking yourself, keep saying out loud, let's see what good comes out of this. And keep looking for the evidence of that. I also would like to read to you what these two cards mean from the guidebook. So the owl and hops, wisdom. Owls are closely associated with Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, known for their nocturnal vision. Owls represent knowledge and erudition with a hint of mystery. The hop is an oppressive plant, able to climb up to 20 feet in a single growing season. Combined, the pair indicates spiritual and intellectual fulfillment. You have come to the end of a long journey. Relish in your achievement, taking deep, satisfying breaths. And remember, that's what I said about the World card. It's completion of something, like completing a marathon. And the turtle and coriander. The turtle and coriander calls us to be satisfied with what we have been given or what we have achieved. It invites a moment of rest and reflection, perhaps due to Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare. Turtles are symbols of patience and good health. In this folktale, the slow but determined tortoise wins the race against the speedy but distracted rabbit. The turtle triumphs by pacing himself, illustrating the adage, slow and steady wins the race. Similarly, in the Victorian language of flowers, coriander indicates concealed worth, reminding us that things may not always be as they appear. In other words, a dedicated tortoise who puts in the work can achieve just as much, if not more, than the swiftest rabbit. Slow down and enjoy the journey. Avoid rushing towards your goals for the sake of winning. Arrive in your own time. And I love that this card, you know, it's kind of pointing in this direction, and it reiterates what these two cards say in this card. It talks about taking a moment to rest and reflect and to be satisfied with what you still have. It's amazing. I love the serendipity of the cards and how they collaborate and go together. So I do see that you have the resilience and wisdom to continue and complete whatever it is that you're working on. Build anew. We see that he's cut down all of these trees, cleared space, right? Purging, clearing space. But with those logs, he's going to build something, perhaps. Yes, very nice. This is really big. I see this as a very big, something that's important to you, with this being a message from your ancestors and so many major arcana cards. You've completed a significant phase of your journey, and now you're entering a period of new beginnings, growth, and transformation. And I see you being courageous and optimistic, trusting in the wisdom and guidance of your ancestors to light your way forward. Absolutely beautiful. Pile number 3, that is your message. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.